the show.
He's very integral.
Oh,
Dirk is.
wow.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 407 of the Two Dum Yinzers. Everybody, we appreciate you joining us a little bit late today. We are. It's a little bit of a late start. We're gonna lead right into the NFL days. What we're doing. Of course, the NFL games they start at 1:00. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. Oh my God, exciting weekend already in college or in football.
Oh,
so I just can't wait for the pros to start.
Yeah, if college was that exciting, what's the pros going to bring us today?
I know it better not be a letdown. There better be a lot of good games.
Now, I do want to say that I have a theory, guys. There's a lot of talk because every game is so exciting anymore. Every game, and even the announcers they say weird things like, the script writers, blah 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 blah. I got a theory. I don't think they're script writers because that's kind of crazy. I think, hear me out now.
Okay.
I think that they figured out how to time travel. And before you judge me, hear me out. Because at any point, whenever they discover time travel, they could just start time traveling and not tell us, because they're experimenting with it, and they could dip into the future, dip into however the hell time travel works, and then apply it to things that we would never know, such as football that all of a sudden turned into sports entertainment. Games used to be rough and rugged and, 13-6, and guys are walking off the field and their shirts are torn, their faces bloody, their pants are covered with mud.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see it. It's a show. Everybody walks off the field all shiny. At the end of the game, uniforms aren't dirty anymore. I'm just saying it looks a lot like a show. So the only thing that could be, this is the only thing it could be, obviously, is time travel.
Hey, we've had a lot of weird theories on this show. And I think this might take the cake.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm trying to figure out how the time travel is working with the clean jerseys and everything. I just
because it's not the same. It's not the football that we grew up with. And I understand people say the game changes, but you know what? Every single game is so exciting. That hasn't been football my whole life. You watch these bad teams, and they were bad teams. Nobody's a bad team anymore. And it's very strange. Football has become very strange. It's on every level. It's college, it's pros, and I could confirm this with. I was up till 2:30 last night watching a college football game. This game between Colorado and Colorado State was absolutely amazing. Number 18 Colorado takes on in-state rival Colorado State. Colorado was down. They were down 28-17, I think it was, something like this.
Yeah,
11 points in the fourth quarter. Colorado comes back. They get the 2-point conversion that they needed to tie the game. It goes to overtime. Then it goes to double overtime. And then Colorado ends up winning this game. It was, you know what? I'm not so sold on the hype, but I'm kind of sold on the hype. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah. It's like
I'm not falling in love with the thing like everybody else is. And it's fun. It's fun. It's fun with what's going on with Colorado. And you know what? Listening to a humble Deion Sanders in post game kind of changed things a little bit for me. He's always kind of been an asshole his whole life. And that's why a lot of people don't like him. But if he's matured and he becomes that guy that he's coming off as in a lot of these interviews, I think I'm starting to like him. And again, he was a Raven, he was a Cowboy, he was a 49er.
Yeah.
3 teams that I don't
he's
like.
A villain. He's always been the villain.
He's always been the villain. He always had a mouth, and people just didn't like him. And you know what? I'm warming up to him. I'm warming up to Deion Sanders. This is a lot of fun. If this kid, his son, the quarterback, keeps playing the way that he's playing, he is going to be in the Heisman conversation very soon. Because you know what? You got 3 of 9 games or 3 of 12 games knocked out. You're a quarter of the way through the season. And you know what? He's one of the biggest stories in college football right now. And if Colorado keeps moving up the rankings, they came into the game at 18. Yeah. You have a couple ranked games coming up. I think Oregon's next.
Oregon and USC are coming up. Yeah.
So, depending on what these guys do, and at this point, I don't know if you could really count out Colorado in these games because they're finding ways. And the one word that he kept using in post game yesterday was resilient. And this bunch was resilient as it comes. And you know what? If that's what this is going to be, this is going to be a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, and you talk about resilient. Travis Hunter's taken out of the game. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. It looks like. So we're gonna, that was their number one receiver, their number one cornerback. So they're going to see what the team's made of. And they just when he got knocked out of the game, you're thinking, oh God, okay, there goes the offense. See who's going to step up. Well, everyone else stepped up. They stepped up on defense as well. So battling through that adversity. And, that's only going to help them in the rankings. That's only going to help Shader Sanders in the Heisman race. So it was a fun game to watch. I was following along best I could on Twitter, just back and forth. That was like a rivalry game. That had the feel of like a Steelers Ravens game. You saw Travis Hunter get knocked out of the game on a dirty hit. You got Sanders, poking a guy in the eyeballs like he was,
and then the
Three
dirty hit on
Stooges,
him at the end of the game.
dirty hit on him at the end of that. I was like, oh, that looked like a good hit. Then you keep watching it. It's like, no, that ball was like 12 yards down the field by the time he got hit. So it was a rough physical game, and it had that feel of like a Steelers Ravens game, and it had the ending of a Steelers Ravens game. More points scored, but right down to the finish. Going into double OT. It was like if you love football, this was the game to watch.
Absolutely.
Game, a dramatic game, a lot of drama leading into it from the, Colorado State's coach yapping, and then the players pregame were yapping at each other. So if you love football, this was the game to watch.
Yeah, it was a really great game. I really enjoyed it. As I said, I did. I stayed up till 2:30 with a lot of other people. I get online, I look around, and a lot of guys are staying up watching this game. And you know what? I don't blame them. This was really fun. Little scoop. Mike and I talked prior to the show. Jordan Noyes, the kicker for Colorado State. Get this, Derpy. I don't know if you
My
caught
favorite
this.
player.
The kicker at Colorado State, Derpy. He's 31 years old. He's married and he has 3 kids.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, I kid you not. This is real. You know how sometimes we get on players because they're a little bit older. Dude is 31. I mean, this guy's older than you, Derpy.
He saw Kenny Pickett and Stetson Bennett the past 2 seasons. He's like, boys, hold my beer, watch this. I'm going to show you how it's done.
He saw Kenny Pickett. He was in college when John Elway was in college. This guy.
I always joke about Kenny was in college since the Hoover administration. This guy
literally has.
He has. He's
been
through so many presidents, so many world wars. He's seen it all.
He's seen every world war.
And like I saw on Twitter, someone was like, he's might be the only player to actually have seen Deion Sanders play.
Yeah. You know what? Deion's son looks so much like Deion when Deion was at Florida State. I was looking at him last night, and that's the look. That's the face I remember seeing whenever Deion was. His looks changed over the year, but he looks a lot like his boy, man. Holy moly, guys! Also, other college football around the way. Mike's Penn State, the Nittany Lions, Mike, they beat the Fighting Illini of Illinois 30-13.
It was touch and go for a minute. It was like 13-6, 13-7 at one point. Drew Allar was not looking good on his first road game, but Penn State always struggles with Illinois on the road. I don't know what it is. Also,
Derpy, your Ohio State, they beat who'd they beat? Western Kentucky?
Powerhouse. The powerhouse.
63-10. I can't really laugh at anybody because what's his name? Phil Jagovkovic, the quarterback for the Pitt Panthers. This guy can't do anything. He's the worst quarterback in college football.
Did they lose or win?
Really, Mike, what was he? What was his?
I'm going off top of my head. I want to say he was 8 of 43 interceptions, and yeah.
Oh, he is so bad.
That's a rough one.
I don't even know how he got accepted to Notre Dame at any point in his life. This guy is the worst college quarterback I've ever seen. If Pat Narduzzi doesn't yank him this week against he's going to start him because it's North Carolina. You're going to go with your number one guy, but you know what? You got
you have to make a change at this point. My God, it would have been different. He made those comments last week. If he came out this week, was on fire and they still lost, like, okay, you can. Okay, he balled out. We lost, tough game, whatever. We're going to stick with him. But he did not ball out, and you lost, and he made those comments.
Dude, he is just very terrible.
You have to move on from him. I understand, you thought he was the guy coming in out of the transfer portal, but this is his third college in as many years. Come on, that tells you something. That tells you something.
He's really bad.
He's not it. He is not it. And for like this team, I'm not a Pitt fan. My God,
He makes Slovis look
it is
like
bad.
like Tom Brady.
Yeah, and like I was telling you off air, Ryan, I'm not a Pitt fan. I hate Pitt, but I feel bad for a lot of these players that are so good and they have a good roster. They, like you were saying, they were building momentum. Then they get this guy, and just he could potentially set the program back a few years.
Well, they got North Carolina coming with Drake May, who is going to be one of the top quarterbacks drafted. They're saying top 5. I just can't imagine that this game's going to go well this week with North Carolina. But nonetheless, guys, let's move on. The Georgia Bulldogs only beat South Carolina by 10 points in a 24-14 win on Saturday. Florida State, another highly ranked team, they only beat Boston College by 2 points, 31-29. And the last one that I do want to mention is Alabama only beating South Florida 17-3.
Yep.
So a lot of close games this week.
A lot of close games.
I saw it shouldn't be, because I noticed that there was no ranked teams versus ranked teams. That's one thing I always look for. And the one thing that was overwhelming was the amount of high ranked teams that were given a challenge by these nobodies. I mean, South Florida.
Right. And a comment I saw on Twitter kind of sums, it was, I think it was a pretty good take, is like these programs like Georgia and Alabama, you can't convince 5-star recruits now to sit there and be a second, third, fourth stringer to wait your turn. Now with the transfer portal, now with the NIL deals, these guys can go anywhere and start right away. And that's going to change the competitive balance. People are still going to want to go to those big schools, but hey, if you're going to be buried on the depth chart for 3 years, you're like, no, man, I'm going to go somewhere to play and make some money right away. And I think that's going to change the college landscape. I think we might start to see the end of some of these dynasties, or just like a weakening of the dynasties.
Also, yesterday, the Yankees, they beat the Pittsburgh Pirates in the second game of the 3-game series. They win this game 6-3. Pirates are now 69-80.
I
69 and they have about 13 games left.
We're going to finish with 69 wins.
They're so close to being out of the race for 500. It's just a matter of time. Big Stacks hits a home run. Pirates play game 3 of 3 today at 1:35. I'm sure with the NFL, everyone's going to be watching this Pirates game.
Oh, yeah.
Probables are Carlos Rodon versus Colin Selby.
If that doesn't put butts in seats, I don't know what will.
I seen your boy O'Shawney. They shut him down for the season.
Yeah.
Good for him. I mean, the guy,
he's him and Mike Trout are that team. He does everything. So
yeah. I mean, if his oblique hurts, let the guy sit for crying out loud.
Just let him, let him get his surgery and trade him somewhere where he can have a chance to win. My God.
One note that I do want to mention, I did this is another thing I did talk to Mike about. Derpy, check this out. You like baseball, right?
Yep.
Check out this statistic about Tony Gwynn, the great Tony Gwynn. A major leaguer on average has about 550 at bats a season. On average, a player strikes out 1 every 5 at bats. So that's 110 strikeouts a season is what is the average in the majors for strikeouts. Over a 10-year period of time, that's 1,100 strikeouts. Okay, Derp, are you still with me?
Yeah.
So over 10 years, the average baseball player strikes out 1,100 times. Tony Gwynn struck out 188 times throughout the whole decade of the 90s. 188 strikeouts through the whole entire decade of the 90s. Ain't that amazing? Crazy.
That's some good.
I mean, some players strike out 188 times a year. Like I'm sure the catcher. I can't even think of his name. The guy that we just traded. Who's the guy, Derpy? The guy that we got from Cleveland.
Hedges.
Oh, Hedges. Yes. I bet you he struck out 180 times this year.
Guaranteed. My God, that guy was a bum. He was the worst.
Riverhounds win on the road. They win 2-1 over Miami.
The Hounds.
I don't ever really see them on the road, so this kind of caught my attention. They play a lot of games. In Pittsburgh. But most importantly, guys, let's get into football. A couple of things I do want to talk about. George Pickens will play It's uncertain. It's uncertain when his injury happened. He does have a hamstring.
That's like the most common injury now.
That's some better news than we saw yesterday.
So he is it's looking like he will play. Anthony McFarland's status is still unknown. He has a knee, and they don't know when this injury happened. Pat Fryermuth is going to play. Of course, we know the people that are out. Deontay Johnson is out, and
Clam.
Clam.
Is Ogunjobi what? Mr.
I haven't
Walking
heard
Boot.
anything one way or the other with him.
I'm just going to assume. I'm just going to assume he's constantly going to be in a walking boot and is going to be ready for game day.
Yeah, which is fine.
That's fine by me as long as he can produce. I don't care if he's in a walking boot all the time. Take the precaution.
Yeah.
But that was like, when we re-signed him, I liked it, but I had the caveat of the guy is always hurt. When healthy, solid D lineman.
Yeah, see, I didn't know he was always hurt prior to coming here.
That's the bad thing, Like I love, when he's out there, you don't have to worry about him. But how often is he going to be out there?
Amari Cooper suffers a groin injury in practice, is questionable for the game Monday night.
I don't like to see people get hurt or injured, but if it helps us, Amari, take the extra week, buddy.
Yeah, what do I
It's
care?
It's a long season. You can afford to miss a game. You're still going to get paid. Just rest up.
What do I care if someone of a rich dude gets hurt? He really cares when I get hurt,
That's true. But, as a fan of sports, you don't like to.
Yeah.
Well, certain.
I like to see people crash in race cars. So what's that say?
Exactly. I love that. Like that controversy of like, oh my God, a member of the Browns media was saying, he hopes these Steeler players leave the field hurt and injured. I'm like, that's what all fans think. This guy was just stupid enough to say
ballsy
it
enough to say it,
out loud. Yeah, like I don't want to see someone like die on the field or never be able to play a game
if
it helps my team win,
gets hurt on the first play, when Carson Palmer got his knee rolled on, you can't tell me you weren't happy. We won the Super Bowl because of it.
We won because of that.
I'm happy.
That made me for him, but it sucked for him, and it was good for the Steelers. It's as long as you're not intentionally hurting people.
I don't think there's a person that doesn't think it.
It doesn't think like I don't care if your best players are out there and a win is a win.
Yeah, I mean, you always look forward to the advantage. And again, I don't know this guy personally.
No.
And if he gets
I don't want to see someone die, as long as you don't die on the field or if you're not permanently paralyzed.
I mean, when you kill people in a video game, that's that's
different.
You're trying to get the edge. You don't care.
I'm trying to get the edge.
Not different because again, you don't know these people. They could.
Wow, you're taking it away.
I'm not.
Ryan's ready for the last Boy Scout to happen.
Ryan is talking and saying the things that most people were just thinking. As we just said, again, I don't know Carson Palmer. You know what? Carson Palmer don't know me. And if I died tomorrow, Carson Palmer wouldn't give two shits. So again, at the end of the day, it's what everybody thinks. And I will take an injury or two from the Cleveland Browns this week because it looks like we're going to need an injury or two. You know what we were talking about, Derby? What if the Browns win this game? What's life going to be like for you on the home front?
Ping.
Is Mama Derp going to be rubbing it in your face 24/7?
I said this to my father. If the Cleveland Browns ever win a Super Bowl, it is the apocalypse.
You know what? There's a lot of things.
If they beat the Steelers and go 2-0, it might.
There's a lot of things.
It is.
There's a lot of things pointing to this being the apocalypse. But you know what? This Cleveland Browns success, I think, is the icing on the cake. And for PR reasons, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I just, I want to throw that out there. But I can't say that I wasn't happy when Carson Palmer rolled on.
Injured is, you'll be back ready to play. Hurt is you're never play again. So a little injury here and there, that's fine by me.
Again, who's keeping track? But anyway,
hey, we're Pittsburgh fans. We've seen people literally target Crosby's heads, Lemieux's back and wrist. So I think we're allowed to talk some smack.
Right.
We watched Ben be targeted unfairly for years. So I think we're allowed to say, you know what? Fuck it. If someone gets hurt, we don't give a fuck.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
And guess what? If the guy on the other team gets hurt, that's somewhat entertaining to you as a fan of the team that you. So again,
we're the consumers.
We're the consumers.
Yeah, they're human beings, but I don't know them.
Exactly. You know what? We watch boxers beat each other's brains in. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And then we move on. Like, oh, that's tragic. Move on.
Right. Oh, Muhammad Ali can't talk, speak, hear, or think. I can't think of one time in my life that affected me. But yeah, I understand. You got to say what you got to say in today's society. Derpy Mike was making a good point. I'm sorry I cut him off. If the Browns win this game, Derpy, if the Browns win this game, and we're going to talk about this for a minute because I'm worried about you. If the Browns win this game, this will be the first time they started 2-0 in 30 years, Derpy. 30 years. It's been 30
Yeah, it's
years.
definitely the apocalypse if they win.
30 years since
I was
they
12 years
started
old.
2-0. Think of that. Think of how bad. That's why you can't tell me that they were bad forever and then they're just going to all of a sudden just don't. It's not going to happen. It's the Browns. They're going to brown. I promise you. I'm not even sure that they're going to win this game. A lot of people are giving them the win already. Just keep in mind they're the Browns. Keep it back here. You'll be all right.
But just remember though, they are the Browns. But I remember the '80s, man, when the Browns Steeler games were not gimmies for us. Granted, that organization's now down in Baltimore where they win Super Bowls, but it's still crazy things have happened, man. I just 30 years.
And they browned it up back then too.
You would think they're due after 30 years, but like we always say, it is Cleveland. They will find a way to mess it up. They'll always, a couple years ago they were in the playoffs. They're beating the Steelers, looking like they were on the rise, and then there's not many people left from that team. So they will find a way to screw this up. Back in the early
2000s, it was a guy named Michael Jackson, one of their receivers. Even when they were good, it was kind of a farce. And again, even in the 80s when they were good, when the Steelers were bad and a bunch of other good teams were bad, they still found a way to screw it up. They couldn't get past the AFC Championship.
It's Cleveland sports.
It's Cleveland sports. And so as I said, I'm not quite giving Cleveland the win just yet. That's why they play the football game. They will be out there in their white dog shit uniforms tomorrow night. So pay attention, guys. Big game. Guys, couple intriguing games also to watch today. I think is for us, the Steeler fan, is the Ravens at the Bengals, of course. Yep. I think this should be a good game.
Mm-hmm. We need the Bengals to win. That way we can keep pace in the North.
And we need to win.
And we need to win.
And we'll all be 1-1. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Be crazy. We need that to happen.
Chiefs in Jacksonville should be a good one.
Should be, yeah. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna test to see where both teams are. Chiefs are getting Kelsey and Jones back. Jags trying to build on momentum from last year. So it's going to be a good test for both teams, actually.
And think of the storyline. If let's just say Jacksonville beats the Chiefs, the conspiracy theories will be flying. I can't remember the last time the Chiefs lost 2 games in a row.
Kelsey's playing though.
Yeah.
True, but Ryan's saying if this team starts out 0-2, my God, how much was this, Andy Reid, and how much, of this offense was Eric Bieniemy working with designing it for Mahomes.
Here's the thing: we've seen this multiple times with Brady.
Yeah,
they bail him out. They'll bail him out.
Derpy's getting deep.
Something will turn around, and then you know how it is.
Speaking of Brady,
it with Brady.
Yeah, the great ones rise to the occasion, and the good ones don't.
Speaking of Brady, I didn't know this, but Deion Sanders' son trains a lot with Tom Brady. Apparently,
yeah, like
he said after the game
all the time.
He said that that Tom Brady will be. He goes, he'll be texting me any minute. Apparently, Tom texts him every game and kind of tells him how he did and stuff like this. Can you imagine that being the guy that's teaching you?
You got your dad who was, a Hall of Fame player to teach you. Then you got your, a Hall of Fame quarterback, probably the greatest of all time, to sit there, to offer you advice and break down stuff for you. Talk about an advantage to have.
See, that's making me kind of like him. I don't know. What's odd? You turn on a Colorado game, there's 50 Sanders on the screen. It seems like he has 19 kids on the team.
Shiloh,
yeah.
He picked 6 last night.
He had a great game. It's like everywhere it was wild because one time when I turned it on, Deion was standing there, and on either side of him, there was 2 guys with their backs turned, and both of their shirts said Sanders. And it's just like, what is going on? There was so many.
Like there's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping on the bandwagon yet.
You know what? I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, but I am going to admit it's
But it
fun.
is fun to watch.
I'm having
Yeah.
fun with this. And you know what? When they were down 28-17 last night, most of the way through the fourth quarter, I was already ready to rip on them and go, rip into
They
them
make
and
fun of them, and then they turn it around.
yeah. So you know what? They I don't want to say they surprised, but they surprised me. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. If they can continue to be like this, I can enjoy this. It is the big story right now in sports.
It is.
Is there really any that's bigger?
No, they're fun. They're exciting. They're backing up everything that they really don't talk a lot of trash. They wait for everyone to start talking, then they start talking, and then they back it up. So it's kind of fun to watch because Dion was always the instigator. Now that he's the coach, he waits for the other team to say something stupid. Then he lets him and his players start talking.
Yeah. Jets and Cowboys. I think this is going to be a real good game. It's at Dallas.
Two really good defenses, and then Zach Wilson, Dak Prescott. There's a quarterback match made up in hell.
I like how Dak Prescott has been a failure all the way up until 1 week ago. Now the whole entire media is putting him at the top of the world. Like
it's him being they did the same thing with Tony Romo. Tony
beat
Romo
the Giants, dude.
Like you look at, even hell, going back to Troy Aikman, you look at his stats overall, even for that era, they weren't that great.
You know what? A lot of people don't realize Troy Aikman had a very short career. His career was very short. He came in like 89.
Won 3 Super Bowls. So,
3 and 4 years. He came in 89. His last Super Bowl was 95, and he wasn't around after that. I think he only played about 6-7 years.
Yeah.
If he would have, I mean, a lot of things went to, him having a Hall of Fame career. The team that he had around him and they built around him was really nice. Yeah. But you really got to give him credit for the amount of time that he did play. Same with Steve Young. I mean, Steve Young backed up Joe Montana for 7-8 years before he even got that chance, and he became a Hall of Famer. So these quarterbacks in the 90s, they accomplished a lot in a short period of time. And
and now we have quarterbacks playing forever, barely accomplishing anything.
Yeah. So the Jets Cowboys, that'll be a good game. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think that Zach Wilson would be the thing that would give the Cowboys the advantage.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, Dak does have experience. He's been in the league a little bit longer. But you know what? This Jets team, don't sleep on this Jets team. And you know what? Don't sleep on Jordan Whitehead either, guys. Jordan Whitehead from right here. If he gets a couple more interceptions, I mean, he's, like I said, he's on pace for 600 interceptions if he keeps doing what he's doing. So
three a game, baby. Just keep it up. But
watch number 3 in the defensive backfield against Dak Prescott.
He's always been underrated. And every team he's been on, he's produced big moments in key situations.
Part of that defense in the Super Bowl championship Tampa Bay team. He's just a truly amazing athlete. He was one of these guys in college at Pitt that he just did everything. Anything that they needed done, they stuck Jordan Whitehead in there, and it got done. If we were down by 6 points and we had to stop the other team, he would bust through the line, strip the quarterback of the ball, pick the ball up, run it for a touchdown. It was like the beginning of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just football, not basketball. Doing everything. It really was, he was spinning guys on his head. I mean, it was just the craziest stuff. But watch Jordan. Great. He's a great kid too. It's one thing that I can say, this Jordan Whitehead, he does a lot for the community. He does come home and do a lot. He does a lot during the offseason. So keeping an eye on my man, Jordan Whitehead. The other game that I think is intriguing this weekend, guys, and I think for many reasons, but none bigger than we need a winner for this week's picks, guys. The only game that's going to matter. It doesn't even matter. You don't even have to watch these games. You don't have to keep track. You don't have to check your list, because the only game that matters is the Dolphins at the Patriots. Mike, and I do believe you picked the Dolphins in this game, and
yes,
Derby, you picked the Patriots. How you feeling about that pick, Derby? Because this is your strategy. What you did was truly, I have never seen it before in my life. But at this point, it comes down to that one game on who's going to win the picks. How do you feel about taking New England in this situation?
Pretty confident.
You still feeling pretty confident?
Yeah.
I know Mike's feeling confident too.
I'm feeling very confident.
Patriots need to bounce back.
Yeah, Dolphins need to keep going to show the league that they are not to be trifled with. And Tyreek Hill is going to have another monster game. Tua is going to have another monster game. Delvin Cook's just going to slice and dash all over.
Where was Delvin Cook? They got that other guy, that Breece, something like this.
No, Breece Hall's up in New York.
They got somebody with that same name. He
I don't
just
know.
led the league in rushing the other night. Dalvin Cook barely even touched the ball.
I'm trying to speak it into existence. I'm trying to manifest Delvin Cook into doing something here. I might have some money on him doing something.
Just look up. Are you on your? Can you look it up real quick?
Yeah, like,
Because I don't want to.
yeah, I know. Now I'm confused too. I was like,
Look at last
I
week.
started to talk out of my ass for a minute, and I think it caught up with me.
There was
Let me see here.
Dalvin Cook, and then there was the other guy. The other guy was the one that got all. He did everything. He did everything. And I thought, where's Cook at?
Raheem Mostert. That's right.
That's
He
right.
had 37 yards rushing.
Former San Francisco 49er. What did Dalvin Cook do, please?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What the hell's going on with that?
I don't know.
I mean, that was a big transaction. What?
I don't know
I
if
don't
he's
get it.
hurt
Is he
or
hurt?
anything. Or no,
I mean,
is
he's
he
got
even
the
on
stat
the
line.
team? Is that where he went?
What's that?
I could be mistaken. Did he really even go to
Yeah,
Who?
Dalvin Cook.
Where'd he go?
He went to the Jets.
No, he signed with the Jets.
Yeah, that's right. Why was I thinking Miami? Because that's right. Because he was linked to Miami. I got all
You're
confused.
insane.
I am
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, that Breesy Hall and Delvin Cook are in. Oh my God, I've had too much coffee. I apologize.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't understand the mystery of what's going on with Dalvin Cook. He could be somewhere else, being the number one
He is with
guy.
the Jets. I got confused with my AFC East teams.
And now that he's with
I
the
have too
Jets,
much
and
money riding on this game.
he's barely doing anything. So I don't know if
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, because Breesy Hall came back with a vengeance after that knee injury, and he's picking up right where he left off last year.
So where does that leave Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, number 2 on the Jets.
Is Dalvin? That's what I'm saying. Does Dalvin Cook, should he be number 2? He was in Minnesota. He was the man. He was one of the better running backs in the league.
I know. Well, so was Breesy Hall last year before his injury. So
I'm not arguing Breesy Hall.
Oh,
what I'm saying is, shouldn't Dalvin Cook be pissed off? This guy should be, a first string running back in the NFL.
It should be, but that pile of cash he's sleeping on at night is going to make it easier for him.
Yeah, that's what makes sports suck. There's no heart anymore. All right, anyway, listen to this. So the only game that matters, Dolphins at Patriots. Mike Derby's still feeling pretty confident with this pick. Game is up at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. How are you feeling? You feeling confident, Mike?
I'm feeling confident that my boy Raheem Mostert is going to run all over the place. This is why I hate doing this live, because when I mess up,
now Mostert is in Miami, correct?
He is in Miami.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought Delvin Cook was in Miami. I'm just so out of it. No, I'm taking Miami. I don't think they're going to be that good. I think they are overrated. But right now, early in the season, Tua's looking good. Tyreek's looking unstoppable. Jalen Waddle's looking unstoppable. I think they're going to be able to move the ball.
It's too early. They haven't folded. It's too early for them to fold.
Tua hasn't had his 12th concussion yet. So,
right. It's going to happen.
Still early.
It's going to happen with this team. It's going to happen with this team. You just don't know when. Last year, we caught him right on the break. I think they beat us by 6 points or something. And I think that was after that. Having the injuries, Tua, this, that, and so I just don't think that they've hit that breaking point, yet. They're going to win some games. They're going to make people talk. They got Tyreek Hill. They got this. They got that. But as I said, watch Miami. They you know what? The thing was, I gave them the benefit of the doubt last year. I kept putting them in that conversation with the elite teams last year, and they proved me wrong once more. So it's really hard for me to pick up on these guys again. Guys, let's go over the games for the week. Of course, games are starting here in roughly 18 minutes. The first game of the week was the Philadelphia Eagles 34, the Minnesota Vikings 28, when it ended up being a better game than I thought it was going to be. Kirk Cousins threw the ball all over the place in the loss. He had well over 300 yards. Also, today, the Ravens at the Bengals, big game for us in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks at the Lions. This should be another good game. Seahawks looking to get back on track, and the Lions, they're carrying a little momentum. Are they going to, start 2-0, or are they going to drop the ball after getting that big win, over a week ago?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been quite some time since they played.
It feels like it's been a month since they played. So
I agree.
It's going to be interesting, but that team is so unpredictable, because last year I thought it was going to be their breakout year, but this might be the year they break out.
Yeah, we've been hearing about this team for a couple seasons now, because we have friends that we have somebody that's up there, and he's been talking and talking and talking about this team. I hope they do well. I would like to see them be the team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. That would be nice because we know it won't be San Francisco or Dallas or anybody like that could tie us with Super Bowl. So I am all Detroit Lions
Yeah,
this year.
exactly. At this point, that's what I'm starting to do is find teams who I don't want to catch us in Super Bowls.
Right. Colts and Texans. Colts at Texans. I think this game is going to be interesting, for the young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Things like this. Is it going to be the most amazing football game? I highly doubt it. It's going to have any implications on the season. I highly doubt it.
No.
But again, for the young talent that's out there and playing, I think this game is going to be fun to watch. This game is going to provide us with our weekly Chase Claypool
watch.
The Chicago Bears traveling to Tampa Bay, who comes out with a big win over the weekend. Last weekend. I didn't expect the Buccaneers to win that game, but here they are at home this week.
Baker Mayfield, baby.
You know what? I never hated Baker Mayfield.
No, I always respected him, man.
I always kind of thought he was a chode, but as far as being a football player,
yeah, you can't knock. He gives everything he has every single game, every single play.
Chiefs at Jaguars. We talked about this game. I think that this game should be pretty good. If you're looking for two quarterbacks that could have a shootout, here they are. Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes, of course.
Pat Mahomes and his mama hips.
And his mama hips. He does. He has hips like Thelma Parker off of Mama's Family.
like he should be out there.
Have you ever seen Mama's Family?
Yeah.
You remember how her hips look because they padded her up to look like that?
Uh-huh.
That's what his hips literally look like. I could see him in a moo-moo, just
Moo out there slinging around for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Dude. Like the grandmama in the 90s with Larry Johnson. Remember they had him wearing
out there dunking
him
that could be Pat Mahomes. That could be the next commercial.
Yeah.
Get us on the horn, Pat. Call us up, baby. We'll get you some more money.
Yeah, screw your discount double, whatever kind of all state, whatever you're into. We'll get you into some good stuff. Another one, guys, the Green Bay Packers at the Atlanta Falcons. This game, surprisingly, should be good.
Jordan Love, Desmond Ridler.
Yeah, Ridler. And these guys, the Atlanta Falcons, they get a win after playing.
I had some college football stuff up, and that was the last quarterback I saw. That's the last quarterback I saw when I was checking college football.
But Ridder, the Falcons managed to get a win in week 1 after playing no starters, no time in preseason. They end up scraping a win, and they're going against Jordan Love and the 1-0 Green Bay Packers. So this game down in Atlanta, on paper, looks like it's going to be good.
On paper, it looks like it's going to be good. And oh my God, Travis Pitt, Kyle Pitts, get him involved in late. Oh my God, you're wasting a talent.
That's the thing about some of these guys. You just hate to see that because, they get these really good guys. And then there's really nothing you could do because he's a tight end. And if you're not a good team or your quarterback's not good or you're not being productive or you're not being successful, it's so hard to watch these players.
Yeah, it's just wasting away. Granted, he caught the injury bug last year, but even before that, my God, he's just wasting away down there.
Just wasting away to nothing.
Trade him to Pittsburgh. We'll have him and Mount Washington and Muth. Okay.
Yeah.
Triple tight ends all the time.
Raiders at Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins this game. I think Buffalo's ready to get back on track.
They should.
Oh yeah.
I think that,
Bill's Mafia is going to be all fired up.
Yeah, and Josh Allen, now that he's finally done making his Verizon commercials with the My Plan, where he's sticking his head through people's hedges and looking in people's houses and all that weird shit. Now it's time to play football. I think he's going to be ready. Week 2, they took the L in week 1. They play the Raiders coming to town. Raiders did get a win last week, but I think that Buffalo ultimately wins this game. Chargers at Tennessee. I think Chargers win this game just because they took the week 1 loss. I think they're better than that. I think that they're not going to start the season 0-2. And the fact that they're playing the Tennessee Titans, who really don't have a whole lot going on, which is a shame because you have, potentially one of the better running backs in the league. They have things happening,
but not a lot.
They're just not connecting.
No.
49ers at the Rams. I might just watch this one for shits and giggles. I just want to see what the 49ers do to everybody now.
Exactly. After they embarrassed us, embarrass someone else so we can stop being talked about, please.
Right. Please. Yeah. The Giants at the Cardinals.
There's
Giants.
the
You know, I would
Cardinals
have
with the surprising week 1 victory.
the Giants losing 40-0. I don't know what to think of this game. I would have, without seeing last week, if I would know nothing about it, going off with just what I know from sports and everything in the past, I would have taken the Giants easy in this game.
Yeah.
Knowing that the Cardinals are just, they're kind of just assembling and they're throwing pieces in there to make things work. And this game, I can't call it.
I think that's why I chose the Cardinals, is because the league is so unpredictable already. Might as well just keep going right in the Cardinals until they prove that they're trying to tank for the best quarterback and they're winning. You know, that's going to be their curse. They're going to end up with like a decent record this year.
Who is going to be the top quarterback next year? Do you have any opinions, Mike?
Caleb Williams at USC right now. He's looking like the guy.
So you got Caleb Williams and Drake May right off the top, two guys that I know that are going to be probably in the top 5. It's going to be interesting to see where the Cardinals go. And you know what? As you said, maybe the Cardinals are just so bad they're going to win and screw things up for themselves.
And then have to stick with Josh Dobbs or eat the contract of what's his name?
Yeah,
Kyler Murray.
Also, the Jets at Cowboys. We talked about that one briefly. Who do you like in this game, Mike?
I think I took the Cowboys. The Cowboys in that defense. I think that defense is going to be too much for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, you both took the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that their front seven is going to be up in his lunch all day long, or up in his face eating his lunch.
2 great defenses. Long. Wow, this they are too.
Hey, just remember, the Jets. If Zach Wilson shits the bed, call up the Steelers. We'll give us Quentin Williams. We'll happily give you Mason Rudolph. I think that's fair trade.
Yeah.
Fair trade.
I can't argue that at all.
I know, right? And you have to eat some of Quentin Williams' salary.
Right.
I think it's fair trade. But no, like you said, man, 2 really good defenses too. And the Jets have some really good weapons,
I'm hoping, because it's a 4:25 and it's at Dallas. This may be like the 4 o'clock.
I kind of hope it is. I hate when I see Dallas on national TV, but this is kind of one I want to watch.
Me too. Commanders at Broncos. This is a lame-o game.
It is too. There's not a whole lot going on in this game. Russell Wilson, Sam Howell.
Yeah.
That's not going to put.
I guess it's going to be fun to watch Sam Howell. I don't know.
Let's see if he develops. Yeah.
And if he could lead this Commanders team that nobody has been able to be successful with in a long time. So that's going to, I guess if you have to form a storyline,
might as well.
Dolphins, Patriots. Of course, we talked about this game. This game is very important for our picks this week. Saints at the Panthers. What do you guys think about this game? It almost falls into my Commanders Broncos category, but I think it lingers a little bit above. The Saints at the Panthers linger just because the quarterback in Carolina, just because Carr came to the Saints. There's little things that make it linger just higher than the Commanders Broncos game for me.
Yeah, but Saints ended up winning last week. Carr looked pretty good. The Panthers, they have some good players sprinkled on this roster. I'm just not sold on Bryce Young yet.
Right.
Not just because he's so short. It's just I'm just not.
Because he's so short.
Yeah, she's like 4'2" out there. He looks like take your kid to work day. I just don't trust. Like, if he had unbelievable accuracy, but I don't
trust Munchkins.
I just don't know. Alabama quarterbacks, I don't trust. I know that's stupid. Always yell at Derby.
They don't have many successful ones in the league. You're right.
It's just, I just don't trust them. But you know what? Hey, I hope he proves me wrong, because if he does, it'll be another fun quarterback to watch.
Out of all these fun games, that ends up being the Sunday night game or the Monday night game. I'm sorry. That's the Monday night game with us. They have,
oh God.
Yeah. So I tend to think that our game is probably going to get the viewers between the two, but the game Sunday night tonight is the one that's going to decide all the marbles for the picks for you two. So that'll be the 8:20 game.
Let's go Tua. Can't believe I'm saying that. I'm riding my reputation on Tua.
Mike, you want to go and tell everybody about the website?
Now that I'm all depressed, yeah.
It was
The
either
two-
that or throw a very bad, poorly taste joke out. And I said, you know what? Just take it away.
the2dumyinterest.com. Head over there. We have links for everywhere. You can find us: Ryan's Twitter, my Twitter, our Facebook page, merch store with our 2 Dumb merch, our Bob Nothing merch for you Bucko fans, and our KP2GP. Hopefully that connection heats up this game and this year, man. Get them guys going. Yeah, the2dumyinterest.com. Every episode, every new episode gets posted there as well. And what else we have there? Oh, yeah, we've got the blog, which will be updated tomorrow to preview Browns Steelers.
All right, there you go. Everybody go check it out. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That is www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right, guys, this is the second to last Browns trivia we're going to have for now.
Let's go.
This is going to be a fun one. It kind of goes back to something that we were talking about earlier in the show, which is why I didn't get into this detail at that point. But nonetheless, here we go. Which Browns player fumbled just before scoring what might have been the winning touchdown in the 1987 AFC Championship game? Which Browns player fumbled just before scoring what might have been the winning touchdown in the 1987 AFC Championship game? Take a moment to think that one over, guys. We are live 7 days, everybody. 7 days, Monday through Sunday, every week right here. If you'd rather listen to the show in podcast form, it goes up every day. The brand new show gets uploaded every day over on Spotify. If you just want to, put your earbuds in, go to the gym, take a walk in the car, you can check it out in podcast form. It goes up every day, 8 o'clock on Spotify. All right, fellas. Question of the day. Which Browns player fumbled just before scoring what might have been the winning touchdown in the 1987 AFC Championship game, which happens to be the last year that they were actually good? That play started the curse that we all know that is the Browns. Guys, do you want choices? I think that it's too easy for choices, but if you want choices, I will certainly.
I think I know who it is.
So do I.
All right. I'm going to start with Mike. Mike, who was it that fumbled that ball away?
Was it Ernest Briner?
Ernest Briner, good pick. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, let me go ahead and lock you in on that. And then after you take your picks, I'm gonna read the choices to you just to.
Okay.
Derpy, who do you think fumbled that football back in 1987?
Ernest Biner.
Ernest Biner.
Biner. Yeah, that's what I mispronounced.
Are you sure? Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. Here were the choices. A, Bernie Kosar. B, Ernest Biner. C, Ozzie Newsome. Or D, Webster Slaughter. I think you see what I'm saying? I think everybody would.
Yeah, I think we know. Yeah.
But you know what's funny about this question? Listen to the wording real quick. Which Browns player fumbled just before what might have been the game-winning touchdown? This is how bad they don't even have they might have been good. We don't know. They just made it. Many teams make it to the championship game and don't get in.
And then the drive happened.
This was the best that they had. This was the best that they had to offer, and they might have, if he wouldn't have fumbled, won the game. So
the only reason why I know this is because they did a whole documentary on it for Cleveland sports when the Cavs won the title.
I remember seeing this live. I was a little kid, but I remember it was one of my earlier memories. Who would have thought? Who would have thought I would be in my mid-40s and still be having the same results that was happening then? I mean, it's really, really wild. Both you guys did pick Ernest Biner. The answer to the question, of course, is Ernest Biner.
Biner.
Mike, anything before we get ready to take off, because the games are getting ready to kick
off.
2-minute warning, man.
2-minute warning. Chase Claypool, reported by Jay Glazer on Fox News. Chase Claypool was told if he does not improve his effort, he will be inactive or shipped out.
Oh, lucky other 31 teams.
I know, right? 30 other teams are like, oh, no, we're good. We're good, fam.
Derpy.
Oh no, I got something. Yeah, I got something.
What up? What up, G?
Um,
Derpy.
let's give it to the Browns. Shove it in their faces like AB did. In that
There
one
we go.
play.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're not going to karate kick your mom or anything, are you?
Oh
You better
no,
not, Derpy. You better not.
Remember that flying bicycle kick that he did? Looked like Johnny Cage on Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Big game. We will be talking more in depth about the Steelers Browns game tomorrow. My thing is this. I was getting Arby's one day. It wasn't in the last day, but it just hit me whenever I was getting ready for the show that the person in front of me, when they were ordering their roast beef, they ordered it with wet cheese on it. Have you ever heard it referred to as wet cheese?
never in my
No.
life.
No, never heard to it as wet cheese.
Wet cheese. It was it stuck. You know what I mean? You don't hear that every day. So there you go, people. Wet cheese. I don't know if I've ever heard them two words put together in my life like that.
Either wet cheese, no.
Wet cheese.
Cheese sauce, maybe.
Cheese sauce is what I would say. Most of the time, people just say nacho cheese, whether it is nacho cheese or not. You know what they're talking about. You know, wet cheese. So there you have it, guys. Anything else before we get ready to take off? The games they're kicking off, baby. We got anything else, Dirk?
I got nothing else. I'm ready for some football.
Mike's
So
already
both y'all
watching the
need to shut up.
What's that?
I said, I'm ready for football. Both of y'all shut up.
Yeah, Mike's already watching games. But hey, we do thank everybody for checking us out. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you. Couldn't do it without you.
Yes.
For the two Dum Yinzers, Derpy, Mike, myself, everyone have a great NFL Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See ya.